Welcome back to my heartstrings, everybody. Welcome back to our channel and welcome back to our tribe, guys. I'm in my office today. I know most of you don't know that my husband restores and rebuilds guitars, and a lot of the times on the weekends I let him use my other recording space so he'll have extra room to work with his guitars. So that's why we're in here today. I want to welcome all of my new subscribers. As I always say, I couldn't do any of this without all of you. Guys, I want to give you a trigger warning. Today's content will be about spousal abuse, domestic abuse, gaslighting, and even more types of abuse. So if you have children in the room, you might want to have them find them something else to do. Just know that it's going to be very descriptive. Anyway, guys, yes, today's content is about spousal abuse, domestic violence, gaslighting, and other forms of abuse. I'm not only a sudden cardiac arrest survivor, I am a spousal abuse survivor. I'm going to give you a little detail about my story, and then I'm going to go into some other stuff. Now, because of that whole video with Diddy, the whole hotel hallway video, I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. If you haven't, if you're triggered, do not watch it, because it brought back a lot of memories of my abuse. And also, I have a friend who's been going through a lot, and there's been a lot of gaslighting involved. And you guys, I'm here to start advocating for that, because I waited too long to leave. I'm telling you, if it weren't for one specific person that was in the scene for a long time, I would be dead. Some of the things that I remember vividly happening was my ex-husband took my, I don't remember how it happened, but he locked me outside on the front porch in the middle of the night. Well, it was like 9 or 10 o'clock. It was freezing cold, and he locked me outside in my underwear. I remember beating on the door, ringing the doorbell, and him not opening the door. As soon as I started to run to the neighbor's house to beat on the door, he realized I wasn't ringing the doorbell, that I was going for help. He ran out. He snatched me up and brought me back in the house. I've been kicked in the back. I've been slammed to the floor, and both of my knees were left black and blue. I was sitting in an extended cab pickup truck, and he reached around and grabbed me by the neck and slammed my head into the glass in the back of the truck. I have had my hair pulled. That's the physical abuse. I can remember my husband, we were going home from like the store or something, and it's nighttime, and he turned down a really long, undeveloped blacktop road. It was under development, but there was no street lights, nothing. And he began to tell me that, shouldn't you think about getting a will in case something happens to you? Anything could happen to you. You know, you could just unexplainably die or disappear. That kind of crap. I endured even financial abuse. My ex stole my wallet out of my purse, took all my cards, my car keys. I couldn't go anywhere or do anything. You guys, it was bad. The last 5 or 6 years of my marriage were horrible. I was married for 16 and a half years before I left. And I moved out on my ex-husband's birthday. And I still celebrate that to this day because I know for a fact that if I wouldn't have left, I would be not here in the physical. So that is one of the reasons I've decided I want to do this video and probably more. So yes, I have a friend that's been going through a whole lot. And it is gaslighting. It is verbal abuse. I feel like it's emotional and mental abuse, playing all kinds of games, psychological games. And there's more to it. But we're not going to get into that right now because I want to stay with the actual abuse. The abuse for my friend has been slowly getting worse. And, you know, she will spill her guts and say, I'm done. I'm so done. And I'm like, okay, well, what you going to do about it? You know, and I try to help her, strengthen her. I try to motivate her to make actual long-term decisions because it's like slowly just getting worse. Now, in her defense, her husband is a type 1 diabetic. He does not monitor his glucose anymore, I don't think. He does not watch his diet. And I'm pretty sure he's not taking all of his prescribed medications. There is incidents of anger and rage, I believe. That's the way I understand it. And like, I understand that financial reasons can really hold us back. I was married, so I left my ex in 2003. And my ex at the time was making close to 100 grand a year. And this was in 2003. We had the big house, all the cars. We had vacations. We ate out all the time. We shopped. We were comfortable, and it was hard for me to step away from that, knowing I had never lived on my own ever. I got married at 18, the biggest mistake of my life, really crappy decision. Hey, but that's what happened. And so what I did was I took a job. Now my ex, he knew I had a job. And you're not going anywhere. You're just going to blow all your money. You're never going to save anything. You're not going to leave. You won't be able to make it on your own. We've heard it all. I've heard it all. You've heard it all. Anybody who is a survivor, we have heard it all. So what I did was I began to shop for my own things, save money and buy stuff, hide stuff, other people's houses, in a relative storage unit. I hid some stuff in the house that he did find. And he's like, you're wasting your money. You're never going anywhere. And of course, it was August of 2003. I was pushed and motivated by another relative. They actually said, let me take you out today. And the first thing they did was they bought me a coffee because it was kind of early and took me to an apartment complex in a neighboring town. It was clean, it was affordable, and I could afford it with the job I had. And they pretty much forced me to write a check. Back then, we still wrote checks and give them the deposit. And then he said, now we're going home to wait. And I had the move-in date, but we waited for like a week before the move out. And then I told them I'm moving out on this day. I did have a son who was about 9 at the time. Me being there in that situation was endangering both of us. He was really better off without me there because he saw so much abuse, so much violence, and he wasn't abused like I was. Now, my ex kind of talked to him crappy, and the only time my ex abused him was when I was in his presence so that he could trigger me. And after I left, my son was well taken care of, and we had joint custody, and my son went back and forth until my son was old enough to take care of him. So, and over time, my son just preferred to spend time with me and my now husband. Um, so, with my friend, she will like rent a hotel room for a few days and then go home. And then it starts all over again. And I keep telling her the treatment, your abuse is slowly getting worse, but she just says, I'm aware. And you guys, you have to, her not leaving is because one, she's on disability and probably could not actually afford to live on her own per se. There are programs that will help her. And another thing is her mother-in-law recently passed and left a large, large, large sum of money to her husband. And yes, it is available for spending. And, you know, you get comfortable with going shopping for whatever you want and need, eating out wherever you want, whenever you want. That is a comfort zone, but that is also a dangerous comfort zone. Why? Because while you're eating, everyone's happy. And for the moment, yeah, everything's good. It's going to be great. We're fine. And then you go home and it starts all over again. Their home is under renovation and repairs. Her husband puts off finishing big projects in the home. There are rooms completely unfinished, things ripped out, products piled everywhere from uncompleted projects. Now, this also is getting worse and worse, more and more unfinished large renovations in the home. Some of the bathrooms don't have plumbing. None of her kitchen cabinets have cabinet doors on them anymore. There are boxes of tiles stacked up the wall. In her defense, this is unnecessary. She does not deserve any of this. The man gaslights her on the daily. I encourage any of you that have been mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, sexually, gaslighted, whatever it is, find a way to move out of your comfort zone and make some decisions. If you're going to reach out and you're going to cry for help, if you're going to post it on social media, I'm not okay, then take the advice. Ask for real help. People will give you phone numbers, ways to go, where to go, ways to leave the abuse. There is always going to be a better life option than what you're dealing with. Gaslighting, man, my ex still gaslights to this day. I stay away from him. My son is now in his 30s and says my ex still continue to gaslight him. I'm sure he gaslights other people. I don't know. I don't stick around, but I'm always there to support my son when he gets gaslighted by my ex. Another thing, I'm going to just stop that conversation. I'm not going to go there. But you guys, if you really need help and you reach out and you say, I'm not okay. I'm so freaking done. I'm effing done with this. I'm done. Then you need to really, really be done, because remember the boy that cried wolf? If you become the abused that cries wolf one too many times, and when you really are desperate and need help, somebody might say, yeah, you said this before, and you did nothing. Because leaving for a few days and then returning to your abuser really pisses them off and agitates them. And then they create another plan of gaslighting, verbal abuse, aversion abuse, where they ignore you when you talk to them. And then when you created a plan of action for something, then they get mad because you didn't wait on them to do it for you. I can't help you. You got to make long-term choices. Leaving for one whole day and coming back, that only makes them more upset, more aggravated, more agitated, and making more plans in their head. And they're going to use it against you every time you take a break and you go somewhere else for a day, 3 days, 4 days, and you come back. They're going to use that against you. It isn't going to do any good. Yes, you got, 4 days of rest and relaxation, but now you're going back to a situation that is now getting worse. It's only getting worse, and it's only going to get worse, guys. I wish that I could help every abused person, because not only women are abused, men are domestically abused, men are spousally abused, men are gaslighted by women, and I have seen it happen. Hey, if you're a man out there and you're being gaslighted, verbally abused, emotionally abused, sexually abused by your domestic partner, your spouse, whatever, listen to me. Stop just leaving for a day. Stop just leaving for a week and turn around and coming back for them to now use it against you for taking a break. I'm telling you, it doesn't work. I've done the hotel, and my ex called my whole family and told them that I was cheating and that I left him. My dad raced up there, and I'm like, no, the man's abusive. He goes, well, you have a choice. You can stay in this hotel by yourself. You can come home with me, or you can go with him. And my ex told him, no, I'm canceling the reservation and telling him not to accept it and kick her out. And so I didn't want to go all the way back to my hometown with nothing, because I didn't have enough of anything, and my ex knew it. And I ended up going back, and he used it against me. He held it against me and said it was abusing my parents. What I did was hurting my parents. You guys know, you have to make long-term choices, very long-term choices. And to top it off, you got to stop making excuses for your abuser. No, they're not getting any better. No, they're not paying attention to shit. They're not trying harder. They are just, here, let me play the good guy for today. La, 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 la. So she'll leave me alone and I can do my thing. But as soon as the abused person asks a question, wants a ride, needs to go somewhere, do something, made plans, whatever, they turn around and they put it back on you. If you're stupid, you're an idiot, you don't know what you're talking about. And when they do that to you in front of people, in front of strangers, in front of people that are working on your house, it could be in front of the cable guy, it could be in a grocery store, it could be anywhere. Oh, but it won't be at church. They know better than that. In a parking lot full of people where you're in a parking lot, they're just going to see you and keep going. And he's going to keep doing it. I cannot say this enough. Short-term breaks make for more long-term misery, guys. You guys, I have more content coming, and I could go on and on and on, but I'm going to take a break now. I will come back with some more content. But you guys, after seeing the Diddy video, my friend screaming at the top of her lungs for help on social media, crying out, I'm done, I'm so done, I'm effing done, I can't do this, I'm sick of this. And you stay. And then you start making excuses. Well, they did this today. Sure they did. But it didn't change your long-term situation or your long-term future. It was just a moment of peace in a very volatile situation. I've been there. I know it. I've done it. And I'm just thankful to be alive. Anyway, guys, if you or someone you know is a domestic violence survivor, a spousal abuse survivor, a victim of gaslighting, mental, physical abuse, tell them to follow. Because, yeah, this is a new thing that's going to be popping up on our channel, guys. On our channel. This is our channel. This is our tribe. Thank you so much, guys. Like I said, welcome to all of my new subs. And I will have more content this weekend. And until then, guys, God bless and stand up for yourself. Make long-term goals and leave your abuser. Y'all have a blessed day.